All right, so a couple days ago, I got a comment about working on my movement, and that got me thinking about movement theory a little bit, which I have my own movement theory, and while I don't always implement it the best, it's what works for me and the way I'm built. So don't take this with a grain of salt. I'm also by no means an expert on this. I can kind of, sort of implement it in a match. So my theory on movement is I want to shoot into positions if possible, shoot out of positions also if possible, and shoot on the move as much as possible. Because shooting on the move means I don't have to do that acceleration and deceleration. I can almost walk through a stage without having to sprint and then slam on the brakes. And when you slam on the brakes, you're going to influence the gun and you can't shoot as soon. So I want to be able to shoot sooner rather than quicker and be more efficient, which is the name of the game. So there's different theories to that. I have taken a Tom Castro class, as well as watched a lot of Brantley Merriam's and Ben Stegger's videos. All of those guys are huge fans of shooting on the move. Obviously, Brantley is probably one of the best at it right now. So I have dry fired a bunch and figured out kind of what works for me, and that is explosive movement when I need it. And usually explosive movement looks something like this. So I have empty gun, but I'm going to take shot, push with this foot, something like that. Push with this foot rather than this foot, so I have immediate exit. If I can, throw elbow and gun to get a little bit more momentum going that direction. So this is, of course, a pretty short sprint. If I was to go a little bit further, I'm going to push a little bit harder on the exit. Now, if I was actually in a match, I would most likely look like this. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm doing kind of a skip step for spacing and to get me slowed down as I settle into position, and then I'm going to go low, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. And as I'm lifting my foot, I'm not really paying attention to my feet, but I kind of am. As I'm lifting my foot, I see my dot float, I can pull the trigger. So this is just part of shooting sight. So I have two steel, they're I think 5 or 6 inch plates at 15-ish yards, so by no means an easy target. I have a movement stick here and a VTAC board there. So I'm just gonna shoot off of one and kind of demo the different types of movement that I've seen. So I'm just gonna start with the gun out and then settle. So that's what probably a B, some A class, C class guys would do. Coming into this position here, well, I'll demonstrate it going that way because it'll be a little bit easier to see. But as I come into this position, I want to slow down, get the gun up, and then hit it. That was a little bit slowed down for demonstrative purposes. So one thing I don't want to do is this. Run into position, stand back up, and then shoot. I have all this space I could have shot here, and I just wasted time, probably a second on an entire stage doing that. What I want to do is more of this. Missed the steel. There we go. And I'll go ahead and stick a paper over here to exit on. That'll give you another idea of what shooting out of position would look like. This. So I'm going to hit and then try to get my feet back under me and send it around there. So the opposite would be this. And this is a little bit of a tight position over here, which I did that on purpose. If I move my fault line out a little bit more realistic. So, break, and I'm out of ammo. A little bit windy. There goes a target. All right, so let's try that again. But break, feet underneath of you, shoot on the move into position. Missed. That miss messed me up. I lost focus. Don't do that. Something like that. So that's a lot more efficient than this. Especially if you miss your steel 4 times. There we go. All right, so that's some of my movement theory. Do not take this as gospel. I am by no means an expert, but as an A-class, mid-A class shooter, this is some of my experiences and kind of how my thought processes are for it. But like I said, I'm by no means an expert. All right, thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a good day.